Hello, I am Richard Rodewalt. I am joined here by Tim Rodewalt.
Hello.
And this is the first podcast
Yes.
of something we like to call Shenanigans and Tomfoolery.
I very much like that name.
We are currently both students in a broadcasting school.
Yes, in Ohio.
This is meant to be kind of something that we're going to keep track of our steps along the way in our quest for careers in the broadcasting.
In the biz.
In the biz, as they would call it.
It's April, was it April 6th today?
I believe so.
April 6th. So this will be the start of this diary. And I mean, we've actually been in school for a couple months now, and we've met some pretty cool people.
Yeah, we've come across some interesting cats.
Speaking of interesting cats, you have a friend by the name of Carlton.
I have more than one friend, but yes.
Well, this guy. Why don't you tell the listeners a bit about this kind of guy?
He's a different cut of cat,
I would
and
say.
his views on everything in the world are just so outrageous. When talking to him, and
it's an understatement.
When Tim and I decided to do this podcast and track our journey through broadcasting school and into what we hope to be long, prosperous,
of course, yes,
careers and whatnot. When we came across him, he had to be a part of our podcast.
He has to,
and not just a few seconds here and there. We are going to devote a whole segment of every podcast.
We're gonna put him on.
Carlton.
We're gonna call him on the phone.
First of all, he can't ever decide what name he wants to go by, but there's always a Carlton in there. This is why we call him Carlton.
Yeah.
So, but yes, it's going to be a moment with Carlton.
A moment with Carlton.
So we're going to get Carlton on the line, and we're going to have our first ever moment with Carlton. All right, and now it's time. First segment.
Yeah.
A moment with Carlton. You ready for this, Tim?
Oh, I'm ready.
Why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself?
Good afternoon. My name is Bob Carlton.
So, Tim, today, Carlton, we let Carlton come up with his topics here.
Yeah.
And the topic that Carlton wanted to talk about for his very first segment of a moment with...
It's going to be a good one. It's got to be a good one. It's got to be like something about philosophy or... What is it?
He puts a philosophic twist on it.
Oh, does he?
Carlton here is going to talk about...
I'm afraid now.
Pornography.
That's a great topic.
Carlton, you're a knowledgeable person.
Well, I mean, what questions could we... I mean, Carlton, have you ever seen a porno?
I've seen pornography.
So, what was it exactly that you seen, Carlton?
I was looking at it. It was so exciting, and I could feel my flesh, what it does to my flesh, how it created the sensations and the imaginatory fulfillment of when I just happened to glance at.
What does that mean? What do you mean?
What are you talking?
What it was is truly amazing. I mean, I have never seen somebody. I mean, I am human, and when you have seen something that glamorous, it grabbed it with crippling effect to my whole biochemistry. It hit me so hard that I could feel my flesh rise up.
I mean,
what does that mean?
Yeah, I guess my penis arose, and I almost felt ejaculate, but I stopped looking at it because I knew at that point that it was my hormone system that was taking over.
So exactly, I mean, I want an exact time. When was this? How long ago was this? Lunch break? When was it and how long ago was it that you felt this?
It was back when I was in high school. We were all with the boys sitting around, and we were just drinking a Pepsi. And we were, say my man said he had a movie. And it affected me so hard that I said to myself, if I can be controlled like that without any type of do involuntary muscles throughout my body, because it was nothing that you can control. You cannot control.
So, were you pitching a tent, or
was everybody else?
was it a big circle of? I mean, were you pitching a tent there, Carlton?
Well, of course. It's just all you had to do was make a plant and water it, and it will grow. And of course, it was nothing nobody could do because we were all human.
Did anybody have their hands in their pants playing pocket pool?
We have to know. I mean, we have to ask this question, Carlton. It's a spreading epidemic right now. It's affecting the entire community. So we need to know.
Yes.
Who participated in this activity?
Well, dealing with honesty and the pocketful syndrome.
Syndrome.
It's something that is it contagious? It's something that spreads. Oh.
I do look back at the time that and I know I touched my penis. But it was, I did not touch it on the inside of my pants. I grabbed it on the outside. I mean, a way a man makes or a person makes their money, female, it could be anybody, it's truly their business. And I think God bless them.
Oh boy!
Did God bless the man in the film?
Was he a tripod?
Did he have a massive piece of action in between his legs? I mean, was he well endowed?
Well, I think what happened with that man was that he had to have surgery done on his because I don't believe that God made another leg, 3 legs.
Oh, it hurts. Oh my gosh. So, Carlton, I have to ask you now. It seems like all your knowledge here has been on the male piece. I have to ask you. What about the woman? What was the woman's part in this? Did she play?
The female. She had a vagina so large that, it looked like I could stick my head in.
I guess that answers my question. So I told you philosophical.
Straight shooter. Yo,
told you definitely philosophical. It's a take like no other on pornography.
Man.
Oh well.
All right, Carlton.
That is a moment with Carlton. Carlton, thank you so much for coming on, and we will see you next time, my friend. So.
And I guess that concludes our thoughts for today.
All I can say is wow.
That did not disappoint.
That Carlton, he sure came through on his end. And
pornography, really.
He had, like I said, did I not say this guy has a different approach to everything?
I look forward to him every.
We're gonna have some Carlton in every one of the podcasts. So fans out there,
I can't get enough of them. And if you can't get enough of them, if you want to check out a video, you can just browse around our Facebook page here. Make yourself at home.
And if you need to tell anybody about how to find us on Facebook, first name Shenanigans, last name Tomfoolery.
Right.
And it's just something fun we're wanting to do to track our time through school. But yeah, Carlton, he will be a part of every podcast. But now moving forward a little bit, this is our first podcast, and just to recap what we've done in school for the first month and a half, it's actually been a little bit ups and downs.
Yeah.
There's been some very high highs.
Right.
And also some annoyances.